Hey y'all, this is Courtney with Just Nurse Court, and it is a Saturday morning. I've got a frog in my throat. I started kind of getting a little bit of a cough yesterday, and man, I really am kind of froggy this morning. Sorry guys. I started getting a little bit of a cough yesterday afternoon, just kind of a little random one here and there, and I think I'm okay. I don't feel sick, but I don't know. With that little frog in my throat this morning, it kind of makes me wonder. So I'm starting out in my house today because I'm going to go out the front yard and I'm going to show you my okra that's in the front. Normally, I always start my garden tours in the back, but today I thought I would just start in the front yard, show you an update on the okra because it's been a hot minute since I showed you the okra. Like, we're starting to get little okras, and I had a bloom yesterday. So anyway, I wanted to show you guys that. And then on the way out, I thought I would just do a little bit of a fall tour of my living room that I have decorated for fall. So I've been off of work this week, and I did a bunch of stuff around the house, and then one of those was clean it from top to bottom and also put my fall decorations out. So I thought I would just show you that before we head on out for the garden tour.
So guys, I was showing you the little video clip here of my fall decorations, and I see that Zoe kind of was messing up my fall decorations. And I don't know if you noticed that little pumpkin was out of place, but I wanted to mention that I found that later in the day after I had recorded the video, so you guys get to see her little fun antics along with my fall decorations.
I also have a batch of pickles that I worked on yesterday, and one jar of pickled hot peppers. So I have never made pickles before, and I've tried homemade pickles lots of times, and they always end up turning soggy. And so I found this recipe from someone that I know here in my hometown, where they used pickle crisp and then soaking them in that and then rinsing them and then soaking them in cold water and then doing your pickling process. So I did that yesterday with a bunch of cucumbers that they gave me. Because my cucumbers didn't make this year at all, and so she had a whole bunch of cucumbers. And so she's like, well, I have enough cucumbers probably to make a batch of pickles if you'd like them. So I decided to do it. And I decided to cut mine into spears. So some of my spears were bigger and they wouldn't fit in the pint jar. So I had to put some in the quart jars. But I got 6 quarts and then actually 5 pints. And then this is a pint of pickled hot peppers. And those are the Sugar Rush peach peppers. And I decided to go ahead and pickle those as well. So I thought I would just show you that before we go on out into the garden. And if you hear the noise, I got some apples dehydrating. So my dad, he tried some of my apples and that I have in my dehydrated jars. Actually, I will show you right here, my dehydrated apples. And he tried those. He's like, those are good. And he wanted some. And so they went to the store and got some apples and cut them up. And I have them dehydrating now for them. So, all right, now we will go out and check out the front. All right. So please ignore the messy front areaway. I have so many weeds growing in here. So, but this is my okra. This is really what I wanted to show you. So I've got 8 grow bags, and some of them have 2 plants per grow bag. Some only have 1. But look, I've got an okra blossom right there. I'm gonna have to take a picture of that. And then we've got some little okra starting to develop there. I'm not sure what they are. Worms. That's what they are. It's worm poop. I was trying to figure out what in the world was on my okra. Okay, So I think that's what it is now that I'm seeing them. So I'm probably going to have to spray these. So that's going to be my plan today, is to spray, because I couldn't figure out what it was. I should have known or thought that it was worm poop. But there's one that didn't turn out well. But I've got a little okra there. But they are blooming. But I had just noticed that there was a bunch of stuff all over that one, but I see that little worm, so I'm gonna have to get the bug spray out today and spray my okra, because I would like to try to get some okra if I can off of these. So, but yeah, I have several plants. There's some more I see. It's strange that they're just going to the actual okra pods themselves. That one there's okay. I don't see any worms on them. But anyway, or worm poop, I should say. But yeah, so this is my okra up front. I just realized I had you in on the zoomed in. Let me zoom you guys out so you can kind of get a far out angle. There we go. So yeah, so there is my okra up front. And I got lots of weeds around here too. I grow bags. These were potatoes. That was from my spring garlic that I got. Then here's a few of my flowers. They don't look fabulous right now, but my zinnias have been so pretty right now, and I'm saving the deadheads so that I can get more seeds next year. And then my snapdragons, they have done really well actually, and have been very pretty. This little pot has done well. Most of them have been the purple and white color. I had one in the spring that was beautiful peach and pink, and I loved it. But anyway, so this whole area is something that I want to work on. This is in the front of my house, but it's just rocks, as you can see, and then the Bermuda grass has taken over. And I really would like, what really I would like to happen is to have all of this taken out and then a concrete patio poured. That's kind of would be ideal. And then that way I could have a little sitting area out in my front yard if I wanted to. But yeah, I don't know. I'll have to hire that done. I don't know, long term when that will happen, but definitely that is goal for long term. So I live on a noisy road, and the people and the traffic are definitely going up and down the road. But anyway, I wanted to show you guys the okra in the front, and then we'll go back to the back garden now. Definitely hear the blue jays out there squawking. So we'll start up here on the deck with my green stalks. So green beans are just kind of coming in a little bit at a time here. I got one that's ready to pick, so we'll go ahead and pick it. And these have just been slowly kind of producing. As you know, I have showed you kind of throughout the season, but we got, let me make it a little fatter. We got another little round of beans that are coming in. So here's one that would be picking size. I just have to come out every 2 or 3 days and check them and make sure I'm not missing any. So I'll have a couple to add into the bag. And I've got 2 bags in the freezer already. Sorry, guys. My throat's just a little bit froggy today. So I hope that doesn't mean I am coming down with something. I'm going to try to say no. I didn't really think I was going to have too much, so I didn't even bring a harvest basket with me. But you know how it is when you go out into the garden and you see things that are ready, you got to pick them. So I think maybe that's most of them. So I'm just going to lay them right here on the table and I'll grab them when I go in. But green beans definitely are, at the end of their life. These were my spring green beans. I never even put any more in them because I had the ones out in the garden bed. Then my herb green stalk definitely doesn't look so great right now because I harvested a bunch of stuff. So I went ahead and harvested my basil, and it's going to be pretty much done for the year. And my cilantro, of course, I don't have any cilantro in there. Thyme, I never really grew a lot of thyme, and it has kind of died back. And it is okay. I don't know if I will necessarily grow it next year. I kind of almost need to scoot that over just a smidgy bit. Um, I realize it's kind of, I had to scoot the peppers over, and so now I need to scoot this one over. But oregano, I actually harvested some oregano earlier this week, and basil, and then lemon balm, and I dried it. So, but still, oregano, I might get another harvesting off of it. And then this was some of the lemon balm that I harvested. This here is spearmint, and I might actually end up getting a little bit of this spearmint to be able to dry. I'm hoping to start collecting. And then I think it's over here. Yeah, here's my holy basil. So I've got a couple plants of the holy basil, which I also am hoping to get enough to be able to dry. And then my rosemary on the bottom just didn't do much. So, which I don't really use that herb a whole ton anyway, so it's okay. My peppers are doing great. They've really grown and gotten super tall. um, it's been kind of fun to grow them in the green stock because they're just right here, and I can come out and grab a pepper when I need it. Like yesterday when I was doing those dilled pickles and stuff, I just came right out, grabbed some jalapenos off of the green stock on the deck and used them. So my Jimmy Nardellos, I used them in making a spaghetti sauce earlier this summer, and I have a few more of those, and I plan to use them in my next batch. I'm going to grow more Jimmy Nardellos next year. Um, I like the taste of these peppers. I'm not a big like green pepper. Like I don't do green peppers at all. Like bell peppers, and I don't like because they just upset my stomach, and I don't really like bell peppers in general. But these sweet peppers, I actually didn't mind them, and so I would like to maybe try dilling some up next year, and then maybe having some for stir fries and stuff like that. I did try. My brother and I tried the Sugar Rush peach peppers, and I harvested some yesterday actually to do the pickled peppers. But they are like sweet. That first bite is sweet, and then it goes right into the heat. But it's not like a severe heat. Like it doesn't like totally blow out your palate heat. So I think those would be really good in salsa. So I may grow some again next year for salsas. And then of course I've got a bunch of serranos that I have, and they're doing really well. And I'm gonna have a bunch of them to put in the freezer. That one actually has turned red on me, but yeah, overall peppers are doing really well. And I thought that I would be able to come out today, this morning, before the cicadas went crazy, but as you can hear, they're already going. So sorry if it's a little noisy. It's just summer in Kansas. So we're gonna go out and take a peek at the actual garden now. And I need to water everything. I'll kind of give you an update on the whole broccoli cauliflower situation. And they didn't make the seedlings that I planted and put in the ground a couple weeks ago. Just didn't make, and I'm not surprised because they didn't look like they were going to make. So, oh, I've got okra. I need to grab an okra because this one here is getting really close. I could maybe give it another day, but that one is going to be needing picked. So this was my squash bed, and as you can see, I no longer have squash in there. I pulled all the squash out, and sorry guys, I have to keep coughing, but I pulled all the squash out because the squash bugs were just getting them like crazy, and I knew that it was time. It was time to pull them, so I did. And so this is the okra that was planted on either side of the squash. So that's the only thing that's in this bed is just the okra, and I'm gonna probably leave it that way for now. I had to go in and I sprayed with the dead bug brew because squash bugs were just everywhere, and I tried to kill as many as I could, and there we are. So yeah, so this was the broccoli bed, and nothing, just absolutely nothing grew. Whenever I put them in there, they just completely died out on me. So what is today? Saturday? So 4 days ago, I came out here and I decided to just pop seeds in the ground. It's kind of a plan to see what happens. I basically planted these at the end of August. I got 2 months, so I got about 60 days till like our first frost. And I know these are cool crops, so I'm hoping that maybe they will get enough growth in them to be able to produce before it completely freezes. Um, I don't know. I think the broccoli might. The cauliflower, I planted 5 cauliflower over here just to see, same kind of thing, see what happened. And then I put 5 cabbage. And I don't know. I think I walked into a spider web. Phew. Um, the cabbage may not have enough time to grow, and I don't see. I need to water everything really good today. I have not watered it for several days, and it's been cool enough that I've been okay. And we got a little bit of water, a little bit of water. We got a little bit of rain, like once or twice, but it was mostly just sprinkles. So I definitely need to water everything in. But I was just noticing, I think I have a little bit. See that little green? And I think I've got some broccoli that's coming up. There's a couple there. I put like 2 seeds in each spot because I wanted to see. But I see some green popping up on the broccoli. So I think these are actually, these, I might get some broccoli. The cauliflower, I can't remember how many days to maturity was on the cauliflower, but it's very possible that I might end up getting at least some broccoli. We'll just see. Um, if I think they're a fast growing type, and I can't remember. I got them from Johnny Seeds, so we're gonna just see what happens. But I don't know if these don't turn out in the beds, and if they die like the ones in the house did. I'm gonna say I got a bunch of bad seeds from Johnny's because um, I don't know what to do if that's the case. But anyway, so that's kind of the update there. So basically, all of the broccolis and cauliflower little seedlings that I had planted, they didn't make. And I was afraid that that would happen. And so I went back in and popped seeds in the ground. And it's kind of a Hail Mary just to see. And it's kind of a test to find out if I can get enough to maturity before winter really sets in. I know that they'll tolerate like the cool and frost because they are like cool loving crops. And so the frost will be okay on them. So I'm hoping that this will give them like, a good 2 months to kind of get established. And then we'll see. We'll just see what happens. But so this is kind of an experiment. Ideally, these would actually be little plants. So they're about, you know, 6 to 8 weeks behind what I had planted because I had started in the middle of June. I had started my first round, and then I again like a month later when the other seedlings didn't do, I started again, and so yeah, I'm sad about it, but it's all a learning process. Gardening is a learning thing. Growing stuff, you learn as you go for sure. My green beans are looking great. Then we got blooms, we've got baby beans. As you can see, we got some little baby beans there. So I will definitely, oh, this one's getting like a pretty good sized bean right here. Yeah. So I'm pretty excited. Oh yeah, we've got right down in there. I mean, I nearly have that one down there is like getting really close to harvesting size. So I'm gonna be able to have some beans, and I'm just gonna can these up. I have the ones I've been gathering from the green stock, and I've got like 2 bags in the freezer of them already snapped and washed and everything. And so I'm gonna add this round to what I've got in the freezer, and then just can up just regular green beans, um, because I did dilly beans with my first round, and I decided I'm just gonna do regular green beans with these. So I went ahead and pulled my cucumbers out because they were pretty much done. And then this is celery. It never really did anything. You can tell I don't really have no really good celery stalks down in there. They're all this little. But what I thought I might do, which I probably should do, is maybe whenever the apples are done, I will come out and then just take the celery and dehydrate it, the celery leaves, and then like turn it into like a celery powder and use it, for like stews and stuff like that. Just have a little bit of celery powder. So that's what I thought I might do with that. So that's why I left it in the ground. My tomatoes they're definitely on the downhill side, as you can tell. They're starting to look a little sad. But I'm not really getting too worried about them because there's whatever fruit is on them. We're just going to let those ripen up, and then I will kind of harvest the fruit that's there, and then hopefully it'll be enough. I've got 5 bags, 5 gallon size bags of tomatoes already in the freezer, plus a partial one inside the house, plus a few tomatoes. And then, as you can tell, I still have several green, especially this bed right here has got a bunch of Romas that are still in there and green. So I definitely will get a harvest of, that was a stink bug, another little, harvest of tomatoes as they start ripening up. And then I will add them into my tomatoes in the house and seeing if there's any that have kind of started to blush. That one has. And that one. So I may, once I get done watering, I may come out and then just grab a few that have blushed. I've been collecting seeds from my marigolds, and I just love that one. The orange and red one is my favorite. Those are looking sad, so sad. I need a weed around here. This was the mystery tomato plant. It's got a few tomatoes. I think it was probably that Ace 55 is what I think it was. Got a few cherries left. They're pretty much done. Got a few green ones over here. My Dr. Witchies, I've got several. Oh yeah, I got the Dr. Witchies in there to pick. So I will definitely, once I get done watering here in a minute, I will come out and harvest. But I've got, several Dr. Witchies in there. So I'll be able to add them in. So I won't be doing another batch of spaghetti sauce until probably, I don't know. I'm going to say another month or two, because it's now like basically it is the last day of August today. No, tomorrow's the last day of August. So it's nearly the end of August. It's the 30th. So we got just, I would say, in the next 30 days, most of these green tomatoes probably will be ripening. So got a few little cherries that I could pick there. All of these Romas, there's just a few. They've kind of put on a little bit more fruit. Mostly these little blooms and stuff are at the point where they're not going to be able to grow enough to have any more rounds of them, but a few back in the tomato jungle. All the Amish paste tomatoes are just getting huge, and oh, this is the cherry tomato has like grown out into this Amish paste. So I'm just letting it. It's just like a jungle back here, but they're kind of helping hold each other up. I should have had like big trellising for these plants, and I didn't have enough, and so it's a jungle back here, but that's okay. I like it. I actually like it. The tomato jungle. And then that one there I need to get my stuff and pick that one up because I can't even walk back in there. But I see a couple down there that are needing fruit. So I'll have to go back in. I'm going to water everything this morning because it's been so long since I've watered. The weather has been beautiful this week. It's been absolutely gorgeous. Here's my other we got a little okra on there, so I'll probably let that other okra grow. But these are my other 2 okra plants. But I definitely need to get some Don't you like that? Just walking through the tomatoes. I love it. My tomato jungle. I'm going to take a picture here. It's so fun to have a tomato jungle. I need to just kind of take pictures along. I've been trying to do that just to be able to kind of see how things are going. But yeah, I'm excited about the broccoli because I definitely have, see there, you can see right down in there, the tiny little seedlings. Maybe if you look down from the top. And I went ahead and kept the little covers over them because I don't want the buggies to get to them, mostly the cabbage moths and worms. And so I think this will kind of help protect them until they get big enough, and then I'll have to pull them. And I've got one little green bean that I guess a bean seed must have fallen out, and there we go. We got a volunteer green bean plant. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. So I just left it. So, all right, guys. Well, I guess this is kind of the end of the garden tour. So let me flip you around. Okay, when I flip the camera around, I should really flip you around the other way. But anyway, this is like the selfie mode, and it's kind of at a weird angle. But anyway, so this is the end of the garden tour, guys. Sorry that it kind of is a little crazy and disjointed. But I just wanted to give you kind of an end of August garden tour update and show you everything that's kind of going on right now, what didn't go on, the broccolis and cauliflowers, and then what I did to replant. So we're just going to see. It's an experiment. Everything kind of I've learned in gardening is a little bit experimental whenever you don't know what you're doing. So anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful week coming up. And the garden tours are going to definitely slow down, so I probably won't be having much material for my channel, soon. We'll still do them for, for the fall garden, and then we'll kind of go from there. So I may try to see if I could plant any, I don't know if there's any herbs and stuff that I could grow for fall. I need to do some research. I probably already should have done some of that, but I know cilantro would grow in the fall, so I may try to grow some cilantro in my green stalks and try another batch of that and see. But anyway, so yeah, the garden season is starting to wind down. I'm kind of sad about it. It's been fun to grow stuff. I'm trying to like already plan for next year and kind of decide what I want to grow next year, and I'm not completely sure. I don't think I'm going to grow any squash next year because I was doing an inventory on my freezers, and so I have 20 bags of the squash that I grated up into 2-cup portions. That would be enough for like zucchini breads, stuff like that. I have 20 of those, and then I have like 4 or 5 of just chopped up zucchini and squash that I could put into soups and stews. So I think I have plenty of zucchini and squash, mostly squash because my zucchinis didn't turn out. But I'm not sure if I'm going to grow squash next year because the squash bugs were a lot. So we'll see about that. I don't know. I'm unsure about the squash. Well, I may change my mind and I may like have one zucchini plant or something. Who knows? But I don't think I'm going to have a whole bed of it like I did this year. And then my tomatoes, I'm going to try to get them all into grow bags so that I'll have more space. Like my one whole bed, is taken over by tomatoes. I basically have the equivalent, I was looking, of 2 beds that are full of tomatoes. And so I'm trying to get all of my tomatoes out into grow bags so that it gives me more garden bed space. So anyway, so I'm just trying to decide what I want to do next year. And I'm already kind of pre-planning, pre-thinking about it. And I don't know if I'm going to do potatoes next year. I think I will try some garlic, which is probably what I'm going to do with the zucchini bed that I pulled out. I have some garlic from the spring that, didn't hardly do anything. They were tiny little bulbs. I think I'm just going to use that as seed garlic, and we're going to try again. So I'm not sure what will happen with that, but again, another experiment. And so we may have a little bit of seed garlic that I go ahead and decide to plant out, but that you don't plant out until like the end of October, literally. So we may do that, and then I don't know. I'm just I'm gonna try to gather my thoughts and decide what I want to do next year. I know I want to try to have some more herbs and stuff to start to broaden. I really want to grow chamomile because I want to be able to do some teas, and that's really like one of my big goals is to try to get into having some teas to try. And I know that's why I grew the lemon balm and the spearmint this year in hopes that I would get enough, but I haven't hardly got any of those. And then also the holy basil is really good for teas and stuff like that. So we'll see. I may end up, you know, I don't know if I'm gonna like grow any herbs out in my garden beds or if I'm just gonna try to grow them in my green stalks. I know like some of the mints and some of those can be like invasive type, and they are best in a container and not just growing wild. So we'll see what happens, but definitely chamomile next year, and catnip because that's really good for an upset stomach. So I know I definitely want to do catnip and then chamomile because I want to try to do some like chamomile teas to be able to like try to figure out like something that I can take to help me sleep a little better at night. That's kind of my plan. And I know chamomile is supposed to be really good. So to be determined on what next year's garden is going to look like. But I definitely, excuse me, guys. Wow, sorry. I definitely want to add in some more herbs and stuff like that because I do have an interest in like the medicinal property of herbs and stuff like that. And my niece was over just the other day, so hi Stephanie if you're watching, and she's definitely kind of got an interest in that too. So I think that we should just put our heads together, sister, and we should kind of see what happens. But yeah, so I definitely have an interest in it. I have for a while. I've got a few books on herbalism, and then I ordered some new books that are supposed to actually be coming today from Amazon. And then one book that I'm anxiously awaiting when it comes out is from the Honeystead. It's the Beekeeper's Apothecary. And I don't know that I'll ever get into beekeeping and stuff like that, but I definitely have an interest in herbs and kind of some of the medicinal properties. Do I think that they can cure everything? No, probably not. I mean, I am a nurse practitioner. I do, you know, believe in conventional Western medicine, but I do think that it's overused a lot. And I think, especially like with big pharma and stuff like that, that there's probably a lot of things out there that we could use instead that could at least help support. Maybe you couldn't fully be off, all of these meds, but sometimes I think if you can have some herbs to help support, I'm definitely in favor of that. So anyway, so I just want to delve into it a little bit more, learn more about it, get into more of the medicinal properties of them. And I've kind of had an interest in that for quite a while, but will I go full force? I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, so I just kind of wanted to share some thoughts with you today on that and kind of see what happens. So next year's garden, I'm still going to have, the tomatoes because I love tomatoes and I love tomato products and I will always have tomatoes. So that will be a thing. Green beans will probably always be a staple in my garden because they grow so well and they're so easy to grow. And then beyond that, I'll just kind of experiment and see, what I like to grow, what I like to eat mostly, and then try to do some like, herbs and stuff like that. So, anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. I am sorry that I totally just went off on a little tangent there, but anyway, I hope you guys are doing well and I hope you have a wonderful day. And I will see you soon in the next one. Bye, friends.